Welcome back to a very happy Aviva fan studio. It is another bonus point victory for Ireland, a third one in a row. 28-8 win over Scotland, and we're now just 80 minutes away from a Grand Slam. Are we excited? Are we nervous? It's a very strange situation because, well, we must introduce our guests first. We've got Andrew Trimble, Fiona Steed and Tomás O'Leary. It feels as though there's 51,000 people here and the calmest people out of 15 guys on the pitch. They just seemed like this was, yeah, another day of work, let's do it, bonus point win, on we go.
Yeah, I suppose Tomás and I disagreed with this at the very start, but that's it. They're clinical, professional. Job was to be done here today. They've done it, and now they'll move on to Twickenham, which is really, really exciting.
It feels as if the fans have become professional as well. It's all very polite, a round of applause. We've just beaten Scotland with a bonus point win. To go to Twickenham next week with a chance of a Grand Slam, we could have won the championship within 4 or 5 hours. Like, we should get excited about this.
Absolutely. I think the way things are going, we're all going to be disappointed if we don't do the Grand Slam with a bonus point. So if we just win a Grand Slam, it's not a bonus point. We're all going to be gutted. So, but yeah, like I guess it's just a reflection of standards set under Joe Schmidt, and the boys fully expect to win a Grand Slam, and they've, like I said, it's been in the back of their mind for the last three games that they're going to win a Grand Slam. So this Irish team is not going to be happy unless they do that.
Yeah, we've all sort of been Schmitified at this stage, Andrew, where we all have really high standards, and we're almost watching the game through Joe Schmidt's eyes as to what he'll be trying to pick apart. Are they going to go? Do they celebrate tonight, or are all eyes instantly straight away focused on next Saturday?
So. It's all business, isn't it? It's strange. It's just very, very straightforward. Bonus point win. Well, sure. They're not, they're sort of going, oh, well done, boys. Let's move on. Let's get a win at Twickenham, get a Grand Slam. Like it's nothing. And we're all, as you say, we're all looking at the game like the way Schmidt does. Press and supporters. The last few games, anyway, afterwards they're going, well, we're a bit leaky in the outside channels, but we've won 3 from 3. Potentially we might have won the championship today. We don't know. Decent chance, maybe. But yeah, we're all just getting very carried away and very fussy. Hopefully a Grand Slam will keep us all happy. Anyway.
I presume we will, or are we going to instantly on next Saturday night start turning our attention to a World Cup and what we have achieved there? I think we'd be pretty happy with a Grand Slam. Like, we could, it's definitely possible we could be celebrating a championship tonight. England have to go to Paris and get a Grand Slam win, get a bonus point win. So, like, even if they play well, there's no guarantees in Paris you're going to get 5 points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably a tough ask for this England team the way they've played. But I guess irrespective of whether they do that, the last thing they'll want to do is let us win a Grand Slam in Twickenham next week. So, and obviously we're going to hopefully get the championship presented to us next week in Twickenham. But it'll take a bit of glass off it if we don't do the Grand Slam. So. It's still going to be a massive game, irrespective of what happens with France and England today.
We want to get your comments as well. Hashtag Aviva Fan Studio if you're on Twitter, or just leave some comments on the Facebook page, and we'll get them to the guys between now and when we wrap up with a little bit of music in about 15 minutes' time. Scotland had their chances, 3 or 4 chances, and there's not being clinical, and there's just making really schoolboy errors. Is that Irish pressure, or is that just actually Scotland took their eye off the ball at crucial times?
I think last week we saw 2 weeks ago we saw an incredible performance from Scotland, and 1 or 2 of those passes they just stuck and they didn't stick today. And those chances were early enough, definitely in the first half. There was a couple of them anyway. They didn't go to hand, and potentially it could have been a very different game. But 20-point win is pretty significant. But if one of those passes goes to hand and they get in front early on, then we'd have to chase the game a little bit more, and it could be a totally different type of game. So it would have made the second half more exciting, and I think we were all sitting there going, oh well, very straightforward Ireland win, but it mightn't have been as boring. I think we were all delighted it was so boring in the second half, and it was all very straightforward.
At no stage during that second half, did Ireland look like they were going to lose that game? No. That they were going to, even if Scotland managed to get one of those tries over the line, you just felt Ireland, they had an extra gear if they needed it.
And they sort of got the try. Scotland in early on in the second half, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe. But then they didn't. They were really poor. Just not being clinical, as we said, but just poor. And then at the breakdown, I think we came out on top there as well. And they'll be killing themselves because it's no good. Like, are they still at the stage where, we beat England and we're all really happy, which is where we were maybe 15 years ago or something like that. Whereas, are they still at that
Scotland's
stage?
still stuck in the 90s, is what you're saying.
Well, you know what I mean? It's not enough, is it? You talk about professional and everything else, and yeah, doing the big one against England. And was it just an emotional overload then? They came here today and they didn't perform, like.
Yeah, you have to be able to back it up.
Yeah, you do. Coming to little old Ireland. And
there were a lot of good things from the Irish performance. Third, 13 in 4 games with Henshaw, then Farrell going, and Gary Ringrose comes in. He hasn't played a lot of rugby. He's had so many injury problems over the last year or so. Just 6 starts for Leinster, 6 appearances for Leinster all season. What about his performance?
Yeah, he was fantastic. He's got unbelievable feet. You can see that he can step off either foot. In the first half, they created a set-piece move to put him into space, and he made a 40-50 yard break. Like you said, his first big game after a lengthy period out, and he made a lot of line breaks and looked like a special player. So, when they're all full, 3 of those guys are fully fit, it's going to be pretty hard to pick a centre partnership.
Yeah, Bundy Aki certainly came to the fore maybe more in the second half, but even still, a lot of pundits would say if everybody's fit, Henshaw and Ringrose are the first choice centre partnership. Do you see today why everybody still rates Gary Ringrose so highly? I say still, like he's still, 23?
Yeah,
like he's missed a couple of games.
I think it's impressive, especially as you say, he's 23 and he's obviously got the maturity just to say, right, I've only had 1 game here, but he's obviously been in camp for a couple of weeks and being coached by Schmidt for a couple of weeks and having a couple of intense sessions there. The camera nearly broke. And having a couple of intense sessions, open sessions with Ireland. It's kind of similar to getting a couple of outings for Leinster under your belt, I would imagine as well. So he's showed a lot of maturity coming there. Second game in, 1 game for Leinster, straight in and performed unbelievably well. We've got that strength and depth. We've got Bundy playing well, and obviously a couple of guys there as well. So we can cope. We can cope with 1 or 2 injuries. We never could cope with that in the past.
So Fiona, what did we learn? We got to get 3 things. What's the main thing you learned from Ireland today?
We're clinical.
That's easy to spell. I'll go with that.
Yeah. Oh, am I doing all 3?
No, yeah, we are clinical. So,
yeah.
like, are we creating enough chances?
Yes.
Oh, we did. Yeah. I mean, we got 4 tries. Our percentage of conversion in terms of when we get into the to the red zone or whatever is huge. It's very good. So I think that was excellent. I think the line out on both sides could do a little bit of work, with that. So yeah, good. We have strength and depth. My query is over 10. We haven't learned about whether.
Yeah, we saw Joey Carberry again got 5 minutes there, but the game was done.
Yeah, 13 I think.
Was it 13 minutes?
Yeah. Counting.
No,
Are you going to disagree?
Go with 7 minutes.
Had anybody to stop? Had anybody to stop? Watch out.
76 or 66?
No, it was 73.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's that little piece still for me that's not there. Do you know that we don't know? We know we have strength and depth everywhere else in terms of who can cover and stuff like that. So we didn't learn that. Go on, you jump in there, so Melody.
What did we learn? Nothing really new.
Nothing.
Yeah, like we're well-oiled machine, well coached. We score a lot of tries. Stockdale is very good going forward. Yeah, we didn't learn very much, to be honest, because Scotland are pretty poor.
Scotland though weren't poor in the first half. Scotland were creating opportunities. Like that was their chance. They Ireland had a lot of defending to do. Was the defence better than it's been over the last 2 games?
I think we had a little bit of defending. They created 1 genuine try scoring opportunity and they butchered that, but other than that we were very comfortable, I thought. Created a lot of turnovers, a lot of jackals, so while they might have had a lot of possession, they weren't threatening.
Andrew, we now have a world-class Ulster wing. Is that what you want to think we've learned?
I think we've touched on that. We're just so consistent. We just bludgeon teams just with consistency, monotonous, and just continually making right decisions, and just teams can't cope with it. And gone are the days when it was more exciting back in the day when you think if we don't turn up we could get hammered. Oh, who knows? Yeah. And then it makes you enjoy those occasions more. But we're spoilt, and we are just consistently turning up and putting teams to the sword, and it's really, really impressive to see.
There's a relentlessness to Ireland. It just keeps on coming, and the type of game plan they have, you just compare them to where Scotland are, and they're trying to do obviously a very different thing, not quite as structured. There's not as many opportunities really for mistakes in the way Ireland play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Scotland are a million miles behind us. We talked about there were 2 or 3 opportunities out there that they could have scored, and it could have been a completely different game. Now, obviously, getting to that level of you know, converting those chances is a bit of a step up, but I still think it's one pass. I think they're doing a lot of things well. It sounds like a little bit patronising. You're doing great, Scotland. Just keep it. But
just finish those chances.
Yeah,
Get somebody else.
But they're doing everything apart from that last bit, and it would have been interesting to see if a couple of those passes had gone to hand. It would have been, you know, a tight finish.
Talk about Jacob Stockdale. We mentioned him at half-time. He got his 2 tries.
He's hammering me here.
6 now in the Six Nations already. 2 in each of the last 3 games. It's a sensational run of form in 10 and 8 games. What type of character is he? Does he just take all this in his stride?
No, he's really cocky. No, he's
careful now.
He's a good fella. He's very popular, and he's got his feet in the ground as well, and he's got a good bunch of friends around him, and all the boys will be straight into slagging him, make sure he doesn't get making sure he doesn't get carried away.
I think we know who might
That's
be
Big Daddy.
who might be returning.
Big Daddy's arrived.
We will get to.
He wants some attention.
We'll get to Mike McCarthy, who's been out chatting to some of the fans in just a moment. We do have some messages coming in on Facebook and on the hashtag AvivaFansStudio. John Kenny on Facebook: Scotland fluffed 2 or 3 good opportunities to score. Are you still worried about our ability to defend out wide? England will surely punish us.
So I'm still a little bit worried. It's international rugby apparently, Tomas, as he said at half-time, but I do think a more clinical team will punish us. I expect us to win next week, you know, but there's a few gaps appear in Jacob Stockdale's wing.
We'll probably learn a lot tonight as well from England as to how they deal with that defeat to Scotland. Do they suddenly turn it around? Are they going to Twickenham next week with a bit of confidence again?
Imagine being in the changing room with Eddie Jones afterwards. Like, it would have just been horrendous.
I heard he's a nice guy.
You're literally now just disagreeing.
Again.
Wow.
Yeah, we just moved him. That's the Cork people, you see. They fight with themselves. Is there any more Cork people in the audience now?
No, he's isolated for once. Johnny Sexton splitting opinion. Keane O'Donoghue says he's been below par. Elaine Galvin says he's a legend. Was this just maybe actually a 7 out of 10 performance from Johnny Sexton?
He did what he had to do. Like, okay, his goal kicking, like I think he missed 1, did he? So
he didn't take many though.
No issue. Like, yeah, look, he's the Irish attack. We scored 4 tries, could have scored more. So, like I said, we're all getting a bit probably fond of ourselves and expecting too much. So I think he's still the best 10 in international rugby.
Yeah, Mike, you've been outside. You've been talking to some of the fans. We're saying everyone's very calm about this. Is that the feeling outside?
No, everyone's very excited outside. I mean, the Scottish fans are obviously pretty disappointed. They were expecting a bit more. Came with a lot of belief after that win over England. So, yeah, they're going home pretty sad. But you know, everyone's really excited about the last game, and hopefully it's going to be a Grand Slam. So, yeah, the Grand Slam dream is still alive, isn't it, Trimby?
Yeah, no, it certainly is. Yeah.
It is. It factually is still very much alive.
Well, it is. We'll see what. I think.
Well, is it?
Well, it is. We'll see what happens now this afternoon. But yeah, it is. But I think in the second half there, the bench made a massive impact. Those 2 tries, but just before half time and after half time, were massively important. We saw it against Wales as well. We scored just before half time and after. So. It's fantastic, and looking forward to next week now.
We need to get your man of the match. So, Tomas, you might go first. Who's the legend?
Second.
Probably going to give it. I'd agree. Rob Kearney had a great game, so I'll give it to him.
All right, 1 for Rob Kearney. Fiona, who's going to get a not bad sham?
Yeah, so I would give it to Rob, and then if you want a not bad sort of second up, I'd give it to Dan Levy. Actually, I thought he was immense, but I would give it to Rob.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Andrew,
I'm quite happy to disagree with a lot of you.
You want to give it to Jacob Stockdale?
Absolutely not, Jacob. I'm going to give it to Ringrose. Yeah.
Great guy, which might
Great
be
fella,
appropriate, yeah. And finally, another Mike.
Yeah, I'm not copying Trimby, but I thought Gary Ringrose, because he hasn't played for so long, and he came in, was unbelievable. Similar to Chris Farrell the last game against Wales. I think he came in, a lot of pressure on him, hadn't played much rugby, and he really stepped up and was phenomenal.
What about the Irish number 5?
Oh, Dev Toner, yeah. I can't pick him every week, can I? So yeah, I'll give it to Dev. Yeah, Dev was pretty good. So.
Just before we wrap up, we better look at the score predictions, because what's that? Mike McCarthy.
Spot on again.
28-8.
I get it right most weeks.
For the 4th game in a row. So, yeah. For the 4th game in a row, you've nailed it.
Cheers. Yeah, I know my stuff.
Fiona, you would have been quite close if Scotland had taken a couple of their chances. You got the 28 for Ireland spot on.
Yeah, if Scotland had got those 2 tries, I would have been there or thereabouts. Happy enough with that.
Trimby's way out. 53. What were you thinking?
All right, great stuff, guys. Mike, Andrew, Fiona, Tomas, thanks a lot for joining us here in the Aviva Fan Studio. There's lots more good stuff on the hashtag Aviva Fan Studios. We're building up to the Grand Slam decider against England next Saturday. But before we wrap up, we're going to give you some music so we can all go out on a jolly good note from Monkey. Take it away, lads.
You woke me up again, tying shoes in the dark. The night is a hellhound's playground, and you're off the leash. No text on my phone, yeah, it bothers me. You said it all without wasting any more words on me. Well, I don't want you anymore, running around like you do. No, I don't need you anymore, or the excuses you produce. Truth be told, I'm just hanging around, waiting for someone to take the hit. I don't want you anymore, but I just can't quit. If you remove the scalding grip around my neck and letting me slip down to the level where I forget the tender smile, those cruel eyes that told me this was gonna be it. Well, I don't want you anymore, or the second and love you bring. Thought I deserve a little more. My patience is not a gift. Truth be told, I'm just blaming myself for this new bullet hole